You are listening to the Your Empty Nest Coach podcast with Coach Christine. Episode number 108. Let's talk about intuition. I work with mothers of high school students and beyond who are in the trenches with sad and possibly overwhelming thoughts about what their life will look like when their baby heads to college and begins to leave the nest. My client's big question is, what will I do with my time? Is this you? I've been there and I get it. Empowering you to write the next jaw-dropping, amazing chapter in your life is my passion. I am energized by leading you in the process of exploration and am thrilled when you unlock the power that lies within you. This podcast is my gift to you. Hello, my empty nest friend and CEO of your life. Thanks for being here today. I'm recording this before my daughter heads back to college, so hopefully, by the time you get this episode in your ears, I am back home. She's in college at the campus, and hopefully everything's going well. We shall see. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that if you find yourself talking back to me at any part of this episode, if something resonates with you, or if you have a quick tip to share with my audience, please take the opportunity to leave me audio feedback, either through SpeakPipe or my Google Voice number. You'll find the information to do this in the description of this episode. On Apple Podcasts, click Details. On Spotify, click See More. On Overcast, press the I for Information button. Get the idea? Of course, I always have full show notes with links to anything I discuss in the episode and a full episode transcription on my website. Those reside at youremptynestcoach.com/P for podcast and 108 for this episode's number. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks. Thank you. It's time to thank our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by my membership community, the GPS Support Flock, your flight to success in the empty nest. If you are ready to find the GPS of your life, sign up to receive an immediate and free download of my PDF, How to Find Yourself in the Empty Nest, our GPS Life Principles document. You will also have the opportunity to learn about our community. See the link in this episode's show notes or fly on over to my website, youremptynestcoach.com. Click the GPS Support Flock button. See you soon. Recently, Terry of Mixing Up Midlife asked on Instagram the question, have you made a practice of listening to your intuition and has it served you? My response to Terry was, yes, it's the way I stay peaceful. My theory is that much of a human's unsettledness or restlessness has more to do with not following their own intuition/guidance/GPS than to do with the outside world. Internal peace is life-changing, and then you know how to take the next step. So worth the discomfort to discover it. But then trusting it is the next big step. Now, I know Terry is interviewing someone who is a bit of an expert on intuition. So if you are curious, be sure to check out the Mixing Up Midlife podcast. Let's talk dictionary definition of intuition real quick. It's the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, or a thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than conscious reasoning. If you are a regular listener, Coach Christine speak of this would be that the days when your intuition is clearer to you. More than likely, those are the days or moments when you have a well-trained protector, so you are able to handle those thought deliveries in a well-curated manner, opening up the potential to access more of the real you and your future self, to use her as your GPS. When your internal GPS is hiding behind the walls of thought deliveries that you may have in your mind, without a well-trained protector, you'll have a restlessness within you that you'll want to jump to blaming on the outside world, other humans, or the circumstances of your life. Clarity is hard to come by when you are being bossed around by your thought deliveries and your protector. If you haven't already, begin to train yourself to notice those thought deliveries, my friend. I have a bunch of episodes about that, so I'll put those in the show notes. What does this have to do with empty nesting? Well, let's talk about that real quick. Whether you are currently empty nesting, or if you have a not so empty nest that has you in a holding pattern, if you have no clarity on how to move forward in your life, or not sure what to do with your time, generally feel a bit lost. My guess is you have a ton of thought deliveries in your mind that keep you too busy to learn who you are outside of the roles you have had over the years. Too busy to consider that the thought you have is optional. Too busy to spend time alone with yourself, learning to love and accept who you are outside of the roles that you have. Practically, what can you do? Well, most of my podcast episodes are all about this. High level, accept the feelings that you have. Process through them, and then work on training your protector. You are worth this work. Sometimes that internal GPS will become restless and begin to push back on you. But what if you did the work to uncover who your future self is, so that you could have her in view at all times? To allow that intuition to become more of a part of your everyday life. What if? Why not? What do you have to lose? If you are confused or intrigued by some of my Coach Christine speak, be sure to check out the Conscious Effective Olympian, or CEO, of Your Life series of episodes for more about your protector, your thought deliveries, and how to gain momentum in your life. As always, links are in my show notes. The questions I have for you in this episode are, do you feel you have a strong intuition? And what are your thoughts after listening to this episode? I have a feeling I may have given you more questions than answers. That's okay. Let me know what they are, and I'll do another episode. Well, my empty nest CEO of Your Life friend, if you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe to this podcast. It is free after all. As always, I provide content to make you think. My hope is that I am able to provide you with thoughts that positively impact your life. Empty nest or not, look, I know many of us have our children with an unplanned online education. But keep in mind, future you is cheering you on right now. She can't wait for you to meet her, and she is your biggest fan. Let her be that. She and I want you to remember that you are amazing. See ya. You'll find the information to do this in the description. You'll find the let me take a break there, sorry. What can you do? Well, most of my podcast episodes are all about this. High level, accept the feelings. Still listening? I am not someone who enjoys sewing. However, I do kind of enjoy the challenge of figuring out how to do something well that I truly have no natural ability for. I mean, cutting a straight line and precise measurements? Nope. While I can spend hours looking through code to find a bug, I have no patience for it when it comes to sewing. I don't know why. But over 4 months, yes, 4 months, I made a handful of masks for our family. And I just finished recently making almost 2 weeks worth for my daughter's college trip. I now, and only now, feel confident that I'll be able to make some more for myself with no issues, other than, having to rethread the bobbin. That feels good. Sometimes doing things we don't love and we could easily purchase have a payoff that isn't felt until you're on the other side of it. And was it the best use of my time? Well, that, of course, depends purely on my thoughts about it.